Alright, it's the middle of September, and right here on my little farm in Mississippi, it's 93 degrees at almost 5 o'clock. But you know, on the CUZ411 stuff, Lauren, who helps me produce that, called it, said the best dump during turkey season would be the most watched, and it was. So she wanted me to do a backpack dump, and I kind of was getting it ready for my first hunt. Now the season doesn't open down here until October the 1st, but I'm headed to North Dakota for my first hunt. No, it's not a big outfitter, guided, all that kind of stuff. It's public land. I went up there last year, and Hunter McCool and I, and we saw a giant deer. We ended up hunting in the same place the whole time. But public land, it's a lot of walking, a lot of scouting. It's not a do-it-yourself, here it is on the platter kind of deal. So my pack's a little heavier than it normally is. It'll change as the season changes, as it gets colder, as it gets warmer. When I'm hunting here on my little farm, sometimes I'll just put stuff in my pocket and go with it. Very seldom though, but it does definitely get lighter. But for my opening hunt in North Dakota, I'm gonna unpack it, although I already packed it once, and show you what I take and what I've used for years and years and years. And I'll try to separate as I go. First thing's a flashlight. Now this has got 250 lumens. It's really bright. The reason I carry this one, absolutely shockproof. You can run over it with your truck, and it takes double A's. I try to keep everything similar. I try to, if I use double A's, I want to carry some extra double A's and not have C batteries and D batteries and all that kind of stuff. So really good flashlight, bright flashlight. A headlamp. Now, yeah, that's kind of double dipping right there, but the headlamp gets you hands free. You may be fooling with your stand early in the morning. You may be trying to get stuff out or your pack, and it's good to, I ain't putting no flashlight in my mouth. I hate doing that, so I always carry a headlamp. Face paint. I most likely have an extra one in there somewhere. This is a knife sharpener. It's the best little knife sharpener I've ever seen. It's a Smith's, but it's got a stone on it, and just the carbide bits does real quick. It's something I carry, and it's not because I'm like a survivalist or anything, but it's a windproof lighter. And you know, around here, you would never use that, but like where we're going in North Dakota on public land, you may walk a mile to get in there. And despite how good you think you are, you may get turned around. If I ever need a fire, they'll be going, hey, where's CUZ's backpack? I got a windproof lighter in mine. This right here, another thing some guys would laugh at, that's a compass with a thermometer on the back. It's also a whistle. And if you ever get lost, you'd be looking for this kind of stuff. I carry 2 compasses. I bet you I'll find another one in here somewhere, but I like old school directions. I always take a little reading where I leave the road or I leave my truck, so I know I got to walk in north, I'm going to walk back out south. I'll usually carry at least 2 compasses. This right here is extra rubber for my peep sight. Yeah, that's old school. I still use the 0 peep sight that stretches the rubber, and some people laugh at that. I love it. I don't think it affects anything, and I know my peep sight's going to be turned right at my eye. So I always carry an extra rubber. You never know when that one might snap. Pocket number 2, this is twine. You just can't have enough twine. That's not my pull-up rope. Another face paint. This one's got a mirror on it, so I carry it, so I make sure I got this big white face covered up. Wind checker. Yeah, I can throw up dust just like they throw up grass on the golf course, but a lot of times when you're sitting in the stand, I like to just test it. Make sure everything's staying the same. If I feel like the wind has changed a little bit, I may test it 2 or 3 times, and all of a sudden it's blowing to where I'm looking at the hunt, I'm out of there. So I carry a wind checker. Really good knife. This is got the field dressing of the gut hook on it, and this is my #1 sharpener right here. This is also a Smith's, but it's got the carbide bit and it has a stone on it. Doesn't weigh anything, and it is absolutely the best sharpener for that quick kind of stuff. This is something you won't have more than likely. I carry it with me. I use it all the time. It's called the Second Chance. Jerry Simmons makes this, and Simmons Land Sharks. And it's just a sheet metal screw with a rubber collar on it. You can screw it into the tree and pop another air in there. i.e. the second chance. Instead of having to reach for your quiver and unplug it, you can screw this thing in and set another arrow there, and if you spine a deer or it didn't run off and you need to quietly get another arrow, that holds it in the tree really well. Pocket number 3. These are arm guards. You don't see people talking about them or using them that much anymore. I use them constantly. Just the way I'm built or the way I hold my bow, I have a tendency sometimes to pop my arm. So usually I'll put on 2. This one's really tight. This one's a little more loose, has those ceramic little bars in it right there, but it'll hold that sleeve down tight. One less thing to worry about. 2 pairs of gloves. They're both lightweight gloves. Again, this is an open weekend where we're going. I cut the trigger finger out, but I always carry 2 pair because inevitably you're going to drop a glove somewhere. So I always carry 2 pairs. Don't go anywhere without binos. Turkey hunting, bow hunting, whatever it is, these are the ones I use all the time, 10x42s. I like them camouflage. Some people like solid colors are okay, but I just don't. Deer are just like turkeys. I don't trust them. I want everything covered in moss elk that I can get. And the rangefinder. This one's got an extra battery right there. Fold and saw. Again, this is a Corona. I got it at Lowe's, and I'm telling you, if you were stranded, you could cut firewood or build a cabin with this thing right here. I just love it. I got a spare that I keep in the shop in there. It's phenomenal. It doesn't weigh that much more than a real small one, and it goes through whatever you're working on really fast. Pull-up rope and an extra pull-up rope. And you don't need 2 pull-up ropes, but so many times I'm end up fastening things, tying things down that are squeaking or whatever, and that weighs nothing, so I carry lots of pull-up rope. Can take this and use it if I want to build a natural blind, tie limbs up. You can't have enough cordage. Down here, that's like the #1 thing. I don't know if I'll take it to North Dakota, but I probably will. A thermocell. It's one of the few things that work better than they actually say it does, and I also carry an extra bottle and some pads for it. That's just like putting your boots on down here in Mississippi during bow season. Obvious toilet paper, but instead of the obvious reason, what I use it for more than anything, it's the best thing in the world to mark a blood trail. You're following a deer that you're not sure where it's hit, especially at night. If you pull off some of this and set it on a limb, and look back with your flashlight, you can kind of see the trail, and it's biodegradable. It just goes away. You don't have to go back and pull those yellow ribbons off. So I always got an ample supply. If you did watch any of the CUZ411 stuff on cheap tricks, this is a little, it's not a pull-up rope. I made this out of 2 towel hangers you put on doors. You put them together. I can sling it out and pull a limb to me that's in the way and snip it off without having to get down and get a giant pole saw. So I kind of carry this thing every time I go hunting, because you never know, once you get up, maybe you're in a stand that you're in a hurry putting up, maybe you're in one your buddy put up and this limb's in the way for you and it wasn't in the way for him. You can lasso this thing out there and just pull it to you. One of them hooks will grab it, cut the limb, and just retrieve this later. These are old school screw-in steps. They're kind of hard to find, but you can still find them online. This is all I used to use when I was bow hunting. This and a lock-on spirit. I'd take about 8 or 10 of these. I'm good to go. Use them now for, hanging your backpack, especially when we got, 2 of us and we're filming and all, but they're so handy. You can do so much with them. Maybe a stand's got 1 step that you can't quite get in when you get old like me. You can screw this in and they are rock solid. You could hang a tank off of these things. And they're a little bit heavy, but I'm carrying 3 out there. I probably won't carry but 1 when I get to hunting around here. A bow holder, it's just neat to have. I like to be hands-free up there until about the last 30 minutes of prime time. I always unhang my bow and put it in my lap or stand up, but for that first hour or 2, however long you're sitting there, bow holder's great. There it is. There's my extra compass. I told you I always carry 2 of those. Extra flashlight. That one's been in there for a while. And this is something I always carry whether I'm hunting around here or not. It's just an extra little ratchet. It's not a cranking ratchet, it's just a pull ratchet. But so many times I go somewhere and I'll put a stand up, or the camera guy puts a stand up, or we're in one somebody else hung and I ain't liking it. The bottom's moving or something, and I can take this and cinch around the bottom and get it in there, or you can use it to pack your, put your pack against a tree or anything like that. I just like having that stuff. So, and once I get all that packed, and that will lighten up during the year, this will go on the very top. Of course, you know, see, this is the seat of the pants. I like this one, and I like the way it hooks to the tree. Don't go anywhere up a tree without a safety harness. So that's kind of my pack for North Dakota. Like I say, it'll change as the weather does, and I may be a little bit of a pack rat, but I got what I need.